So Stonehenge, it has similar connections to Microsoft account as long as it's not connected to people that want to be linked to that because sometimes it has thousands of years of art form of connected to human beings that might want to make a mark to their existence in those accounts. Stonehenge could relate to Microsoft, it could relate to NBA, it could relate to the 1900s, it could relate to other kingdoms in that time, other kingdoms in that area. It could pass for kingdoms to come. It could remain as a mark on Microsoft, or it could remain as a mark on YouTube, or it could make remain as a mark on Google as a separation from information and other things. Yeah, okay. And other boxes that can come in the same Europe or the same country in the same group of list of things that architecture and ancient structures that mean something different of a collection of ideas of humanity about recording people and making a mark that relates to a storage of science and a storage of things outside of a social human tribe of relation inside of a Microsoft or a Google of an image of a frame connected to other things that make a box of what is searched for. Romans, European, British colonies, Indians, Bible time, Greeks, Romans, Olympics, NBA championships year by year, events, holidays. Before I had to create my own nation because they like me in a psych hospital in America. You could look for Galileo, American holidays, Thanksgiving, ancient Europe. You could look for other kingdoms that's not prehistoric, kingdoms 200 years after the storm rocks, kingdoms 300 years before America, uh, kingdoms in America before the storm rock was built in that continent of modern America and modern anatomy of the world of geography. So I guess when I do my recordings. They deleted my 300,000 Microsoft files and they all had my sciences. But when I look at Stonehenge, like what if someone deleted someone's work in 1 second? Like what would you do if you were, even if you got paid $1 billion for 300,000 files? What if someone deleted it in a second? It wouldn't be worth nothing. So part of art is making it last and making it in an economy where it could be brought back for that type of art frame form and a time frame when it won't be stolen by people who see it in a public place where they've linked the same ideas of the age of time of what I felt in those years of the Bible 2000 before whatever Tower 2010 was in between whatever arrangement of information and the search of the format of search and the uh, bringing up of a video and the time of interface after the video that relates to the transition of the upload that's not on recording and the same available for someone to delete someone's files and say that they can't relate it to a different system of security of a private computer system because they try to make it public and say that someone else is watching when it's not angels when they deleted my Microsoft files, but you have to know that it had other people in there who might have been on recording because what if they delete something that has other people, then now all those things are washed away with my files and it can't be seen. But as long as Microsoft doesn't allow other companies to do the same progression to those rises of information in all account deleted in 1 second and related to different organizations that are actually trying to mimic the Stonehenge and ancient things and erase things and files that might mean a lot to someone from as what is it called? Sometimes I'll be like, what else can I look up behind the Stonehenge? So I'm gonna see what is it identified as. It's actually in the United Kingdom. So it's a landmark. And we're gonna do a it says historic landmark. So that's what it is. So we're gonna do we could look up historic kingdoms, historic architecture, historic pools, sometimes a lot of historic things. You could find a big uh a sort of frame of something that is historic in one kingdom that is obsolete in another kingdom but still is great in the other depictions of the economy future of another nation, 300 years in the same box, same photo collection, and the same videos as and as something as Google, because they try to put a collection of things in the same box. So a lot of the information I had on my Microsoft account was connection of different things, different algorithms connecting to these same things in a different box and a different arrangement and a different pattern of things that had arrangement of information that's not in the same box or order as when I was 15 and my math and my music at my age 14 to 15, my age 8 to 9, Stonehenge to Great Wall of China could be completely different. So it might mean something different to me when someone tries to delete my 300,000 files and put me in a box where someone else, after they locked me in a psych ward when I was a young age, said that they want to kill me by injecting me with psych medication when I didn't feel that there was anything wrong with me when I might have seen like someone might search for like Nazi America, someone might search for Sega Genesis, Nintendo GameCube. So it might be a year that it was related to, but the format of my analytical calendars and planets and science of the external world might arrange things in a different age for me, even though the game system might have been related to a same age. Someone who was born after that system, after a system before, might relate to different emotions in the box outside of things that are combined, a different intelligence that relates to the human terms of the world and not something that's past tense that can't be updated with the Dreamcast and the PS5. So I don't buy things at a time because I didn't have money. But if you buy a system up to 7 years later, it's good as long as you buy something in order that is in the same box. But someone might get a geographical curse on them by the arrangement of information in a time that's not safe, political, and order of social scientific health of a boundary of human beings and not just the national size of a certain way. So we got the Labor Museum, St. Basil's Cathedral, and I might even visit these places as long as I could take a shower, as long as I could put a short, that's why I could have my passport and I could travel to different places in America. But I'm a black man, so I'll do war differently when I was joining the Air Force when I was 20 years old, but they accepted me to the corps. And that's when they organized, stopped me, and said that I was ineligible because I could go to different places in the world. Related to some people might disappear, related to Stonehenge, but there's other tall towers besides mountains, twin towers, and then besides America, Chicago, other views for different nations of Empire State Building that might be London Olympics and Paris Olympics. That is not just a building. If you look at a frog, you might put two things in the same box from his hand. But if you look at a Chicago state, you might put things from a foreign nation in one box. But if the government has to get involved to keep these things out of a foreign box, that's why some other nations might try to put a frame around what God builds in a time when I might want to leave these things historic. But if they're in the same box on a Microsoft, then I might want to take them out of that box for the sake of human emotion. How each of these architectures relate to a critical collection of human beliefs and science in the sun that might affect why people create things in storages because they might not be accepted to record people at a human time that they have to exercise themselves to learn how to make an impact on society. You see, so sometimes, like, imagine if there was a great pyramid of Giza, nobody really wants to go in the desert, and it kind of seems like, what if there's a snake there? But Stonehenge, it kind of looks like a Microsoft recording type of thing, something that measures the sun with the things around it. You might find like a local harbor, a local bike path that makes Tower of Pisa and Chicago Sears Tower in the same box. But if it's arranged in a certain way, people could just make other architecture with the collection of the arrangement of things that I had in my 300,000 files in my Microsoft account was going in a second, but this is a life lesson why people in America have to stay in council. Because what if someone deleted 300,000 of someone's files, but they even tried to put a boundary around them, putting all these great things in the world in the same box, saying that people can't rearrange it, and they purposely deleted my files because they were trying to take away the human emotion related to why they locked me in a psych hospital, saying that they wanted to steal my identity. See? So I was born great. When I was 14, I did my mathematics. 8 years old, got into gang fights. 20 years old, 2016, locked into the psych wards from America, from Nazi people trying to say that I couldn't put a boundary of my sentences because I use resources like YouTube to try to make a difference between the Microsoft account where Microsoft tries to connect to those organizations and delete that difference and have access to all the thoughts of the combinations of things that I feel. And that's why when I need real Americans, because someone might say, hey, that meant a lot to you, and it was very emotionally, scientifically arranged in a way that you lost the information and you couldn't keep it in recording in a format that would mean something past 3 years or past 3 decades of something that could be gone in a second of some historic landmark from 300 years and 1,000 years when someone creepy says that you did exist when you claim you evicted from Vaughn's apartment by calling these creepy internet police, saying that he couldn't speak for himself because you locked him in the psych ward and took him away from school because you were a creepy Nazi who wanted to steal someone's rights that they fought for in America. So in one video, I could make the what I feel and who I am more than 300,000 videos deleted. That some of these people who were the Taj Mahal, they studied 300 years of architecture before they placed this in a certain place that might be similar to the type of arrangements of things that I was making in my 300,000 files. But if you add humans to those files, they might want to link to those files and say, oh, I was in that file, so it's better to know that you don't put a connection and influence on the world. That's something that could be deleted by some corporation in a second when there's securities in America of the private sectors. You know? So my 300,000 files got deleted. I didn't want to do business with Microsoft no more, but I might want to do it with YouTube. But what if YouTube does the same thing and deletes my files as if it's worth nothing? So sometimes it's about who I am. But when I'm 30 years old, that's when I was 14, Stonehenge always existed. When I was 18, there was a new president. When I was, before I turned 40, there was a 35th president already before I was 8 years old. So a lot of these things could be related to the scientific world because if one organization has power to connect to other organizations to delete things that value to me, how would I place it in the world outside of the system to have it stored in some type of connection in my sciences that could keep an arrangement of how I feel about life and love and God without some corporation saying I could put a boundary on you by putting you in the psych ward and the kidnapping you against your will and still get a freedom in America that others can't get because you're some type of white Nazi who says that a private system because they took my bank account too. So when I got evicted from my apartment, I was just minding my business, but I said, Lord, what is it? What if I get a passport and go to these places? That would be nice, you said. But then what if they try to monitor me and say that they could make a warfare? Because when my dad was in the military, they tried to call him when I was 3 years old to the military out of nowhere. Because that's how it goes. Because that but what if someone wants to fight against the military and say I want to fight for real freedom that wasn't portrayed to me in America when I got kidnapped in the South Hospital by white Nazis. So the Chica Itza, it kind of reminds me of the pyramids of Giza. It kind of reminds me of it's kind of shaped in a certain similar way. The Mount Fiji is kind of like Mount Rushmore. The St. Peter's Basilica is kind of like the Petra, or it's kind of like so if I see a list of things in a photo, I'll be like, how do I disconnect the photo from arrangement of things that mean something differently? Because I get to do a little bit of science. Because people be like, he is wrong, but I used to even look handsome in my life. So sometimes when I look at my neck, I'll be like, man, what if I had to walk for 1,000 miles, but I wanted to like keep a thing? But people were saying that they could take me away in America because they wanted to go to church and be prophets and some type of they want to be prophets because when I had the a doctor will wonder what is going wrong with the body, but sometimes when people do medication, they can figure out common problems, but not when there's some type of organ problem. People, doctors can't do nothing about something that relates to my body because it's an organ, and the organs only can be analyzed by internal function. So when they try to like put me in a psych hospital and take away my organ growth, I have to report it because there's nothing more that I could do but give it to God. You see? So when someone tries to lock me in the boundary and put a stone hedge around me, they wanted to take away my rights because I created my rights. They wanted to take away my frame of emotion because I was eligible for that emotion. So once there was nothing else I could do when I fought against the system, all I could do was give it to God because these monitors were jealous of me when I was 8 years old in '99 in the certain 2008 president 8-year term, 8th grade, 2008, half age, half day 6, half October, half 10th month, half 2 of 10, a circle of a triangle, a fourth, or a square fourth. When they say that I couldn't prove my belief in God because a lot of these values, what if someone took your values in a second? 300,000 deleted videos might be better than someone making a connection to your specific emotion and God through an internet website that can't be transferred to other accounts because someone wants secret power related to them saying if it wasn't for them, someone couldn't create their own private system, a private interface system, operating system because they want to use it to put some type of creepy, nasty boundary, saying that they can define what Americans' rights mean because I can't prove my intelligence and my belief in God, love, race, and science. You see? One video could, in a proper arrangement, could be more than 300,000 photos in the same format. 300,000 photos in the Stonehenge. 300,000 photos in the Stonehenge means differently than 300,000 photos in Muslim America in the times of presidencies that don't relate to boundaries around different parts of my life. 300 photos from Google doesn't symbolize the same thing as one video file of emotion and time frame inside of a place. But what if they deleted this video too? Because what if Stonehenge had 300,000 photos from different organizations and so did palaces and modern palaces and things that were in the last 30 years versus the last 1700 in America could be an address. One president 30 years could be versus but in 2030, in the decade of the millennium, it's a big difference of the historical thing that things that were built before the millennium, some things that were built more around colonial times that were already advanced in Europe before colonial America that was already advanced in other nations before Stonehenge and things that relate to airline pilots and different arrangement of things that what if you could be an airline pilot? It's better than even if you have 300,000 women, 300,000 of intelligence. What God still has for me was still good for me because the Microsoft account was creepy and they actually were very intelligent when they tried to put a specific boundary around my files. But you're not going to use the internet to put a boundary around me when I'm going to fight for my human rights of God. So I'm hoping that YouTube and my Google account don't delete my files because sometimes when I started my Google account, they took my information and they made it into their own value like an algorithm, but it was my information, so I would have been better off with the Stonehenge as a place to put my information because nobody could evict me from my apartment and lock me in and kidnap me because they claimed that I couldn't have rights in America when I was in elementary school because I didn't get the basic benefit of association to America because when they homeschooled me, they claimed that I couldn't prove my own belief in science and my operating system because they claimed that they did exist in secret and I wasn't crazy, but they could still kidnap me because they had the rights to call the white Nazi police when they evicted me. They didn't mention that part, you see. So sometimes when I do a little black African American dance, I had to get chubby because I can't be no little nigga. I had to play my football, I had to play my basketball, and I would have top one. So sometimes they don't like it. Nobody don't like no light skinned nigga, you see. I said, go. So sometimes even the community could get offended at me, but I got the hands though. They didn't mention that part though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why black nigga try to say, oh, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna thump you. But they didn't say that when the stone hands had the graceful light of God for King Arthur, young man sword in the stone light when I was 8 years old in 99 before they tried to kidnap me and inject me with medication and my hair got big. I might even do the stone handshake. What's today? Let me see. I might even do the stone handshake. People got a little jealous. They didn't mention that I was when I was a young man in elementary and I was skinny. And when I was in elementary, but some German was saying, "Oh, you had to eat German bakery," and try to bully me because the Bible says, "Honor your mother and father." Uh, uh, not your isolated someone who says, "Oh, I'm going to take away your rights and do witchcraft." You see? Arts can relate to the end of sometimes when it's me, I like to look on Google and hoping they don't delete me because I don't like when they evicted me from my apartment, they made sure that they could steal my devices that it took me years to buy. I didn't always have money in America. When I had my Lenovo computer, it cost $1,000, and I will make $1,000 and more than a month. And when I was in when I was just before I was in high school, I had my first job when I was 15. You see? So over the years, I've done computers, I've infinite system, but Microsoft they made it into one box in their Microsoft file, and then they deleted everything that it was all in the same format because they linked it to my Google account, they linked it to my devices, and then it was in one email, and they just deleted it. But they said that I can't rebuild an operating system because they can be Nazis and say that they're going to call the police because they claim they're white people. At that time when I was doing my dances, you get it? That's why when the stone hands up there, how many stones is there? How many years was Walter Payton before I put my life? Because they claim that they want to erase any trace of my intelligence because they were stalking me and they got offended and jealous that they try to delete all my videos. I had videos that meant 1,000 to me, more than just a video and arrangement of things from Microsoft. And I can't even define what it is because it's all in the Microsoft box. You see, understand what I'm saying? So when I have people, I don't want German people who German bakery and come in there around isolation with no man trying to put their moods and say that I'm the isolated one and they spread. I want people who are American. I want people who feel an American way. Sometimes people will be like, man, I might feel like a gloomy here, but somewhere else I might have similar feelings that I wondered if other people felt besides these Germans who kidnapped me and called the Nazi police on me. You see? So I speak for myself as American. I'm the type of nigga, first and foremost, I joined the army to fight for my belief and values. I'm not going to let no creepy Nazi say that they're going to isolate me and say that, oh, it's my fault for being homeschooled. It's my fault for the Bible saying honor your mother because I didn't grow up at a time. They say I couldn't prove my belief because that nasty spirit said, oh, I can just kidnap you and threaten to murder because they say that, oh, they don't care. At a time, they could just call Nazi police with guns into my apartment and say that they report me, but it's like I want to make sure that I'm not a snitch. I want to make sure that I'm a grown man. I want to make sure that when I point out, you could even be into the America, but you could be a lame nigga. That's why I have to point you out because in the spirit, I have to show you the difference of why you're a secret reporter to the Nazi police and why I show my belief in God and my belief and why you are the one isolated, ready to call a very intelligent Nazi because you're a snitch and you're a crybaby and you do exist in secret. So that's why I don't fuck with everybody. You could even be an American and I don't really focus on the tribe, but I have to make sure there's people who think just like me, not these people who called the police and said that, oh, we were very intelligent and locked me in a psych hospital and kidnapped me because they claimed that I was a teenager when Obama was president and I was 8 years old in 99, you see? Do things that other people don't do to get access to manhood. Because when they locked me in the psych ward, they were jealous and angry. I didn't always get to get American institution, not a penny. So when I got Social Security disability, they got jealous because I used it for the good, but for my sciences, but I couldn't afford university, so I was self-educated, you see. So when they deleted 300,000 of my files, they were jealous because it was intelligence. But what if it was a human being? What if someone had a daughter and they thought that their files was worth more than what God could give in real life? But these these people who were calling the police on me were very intelligent. At the time, I was like, man, you calling the police on a young nigga? I don't even fuck with you. I don't even like your nasty attitude. That's why I only fuck with people like me, because these people started hiding a secret and they started trying to be themselves because they was getting angry when they seen my 300,000 glory and my 300,000 cents that really meant a lot to me when they were watching music videos and saying, I'm not, baby, you could watch all the movie and music videos you want, but a nigga like me, I'll probably say it probably relate to me when I was a kid. That's why I want to move forward. I said, the Lord, I want people to kidnap me, that I have to show them why you can say go. So I have to see if people agree with me at a time, because I'm not always friendly with everybody in America. So sometimes even the Europeans, neighbors, sometimes they'll run their mouth every now and then, talking about, oh, I want benefits. They don't even have their kids in school while all these other kids go to school, do what they're told. So I don't know. Some people get away with things that other people can't get away with because kids can't speak up because they claim that the schools wouldn't have an economy, because some of these Nazis, they think that they're me when I fought for my rights, because they'll say, oh, I'm just going to call the police and say that I'm unidentified and I don't exist, but I want to be known. That's why when I did my speeches, when I did my stand up in school, I couldn't do a basic school that they try to throw me in high school. I had to leave because I wanted to be great, that I already was since I was 8 years old. See? Some people try to take away things that matter, say that they limit access to the Stonehenge, say that, oh, they intelligently did it where I couldn't get a passport because they put mental illness on my record, when these white people that were getting paid, they were full of dirty filth and the devil. And I just had to speak up for my damn self, you see. These people had guns in the hospital. They were white and they were Nazis. They really want to get the best of me. That's why they would be like, "How did you get out then, Reese?" Man, bro, I'm telling you, like, this is not like a normal American story, bro. This is things that I would die for. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So when I was already what I was,